Become a patron at www.patreon.com/Golden Era Bookworm for hard to find books, scans of rare photos, and articles on the golden era of bodybuilding. Hi everybody, Golden Era Bookworm here. Today I'd like to talk about Vince's secret anabolic supplement regimens, which he reserved mainly for his advanced bodybuilding students interested in bodybuilding competition. When I recently read the Master Series book, which is available on my website www.goldenerabookworm.com, I realized that Vince's supplement regimen went beyond amino acids, liver tablets, and vitamins and minerals. These were mainly adopted by many of his beginners and intermediate students. Instead, for his most advanced students seeking to compete and become professional bodybuilders, Vince researched the most anabolic concoctions at the time and recommended three different anabolic supplement regimens for the purpose of stimulating anabolic hormone production naturally, which is what I'm going to be talking about today, and I'm going to be revealing these three anabolic concoctions for you. Enjoy. Now, a lot of us know that Vince Gironda had incredible knowledge on how to drive an anabolic environment in the human body. After having learnt much from Rio H. Blair in regards to the topic of nutrition and on the subject of prebolics, Vince Gironda came out with two very rare books after he wrote The Wild Physique. These were namely the Master Series and the Pro Series, very rare indeed. And in these books, these marvelous books, Vince taught the advanced bodybuilding competitor how to further boost muscular hypertrophy naturally by optimizing the endocrine system, and without having to resort to the use of synthetic anabolic steroids. In these rare books, Vince reveals three very important anabolic supplement regimens that he advised the advanced bodybuilder to take. The first was the use of pituitary adrenal glandular extracts with the purpose of optimizing the endocrine system, because once it is optimized and balanced, you can then choose to drive anabolic hormone production. And he did this by the next two subsequent regimens, which included the use of beef testicle extract. I know it's going to sound funny to a lot of you, but he believed that by taking beef testicle extract, you can drive testosterone production. And the second, which I truly find a gem, a true piece of gold, nutritional golden. It's truly golden information in regards to nutrition. Is his incredible he uses three different amino acids, an incredible combination of these amino acids to drive growth hormone production. And what's so incredible is that Vince truly was so far ahead of his time, because now only recently have scientists shown that these three amino acids definitely drive growth hormone production. I mean, we're talking about Vince talking about this stuff 50-60 years ago. The man was so ahead of his time. Now, at the end of the video, and even throughout the video, I'm going to also describe the supplement regimen for you, and I'm going to provide a summary at the end, so please do stick around. Now, the first of the three regimens, as I mentioned before, was the use of desiccated pituitary and adrenal gland extracts. This came from the theory of like supports like. That is, that, for example, eating the organ of a healthy animal will strengthen and support the health of the corresponding organ of the individual consuming it. That might sound like a lot of words. A lot of you might be confused. Essentially, what he's saying, that if you ingest pituitary and adrenal gland extracts, it should help in the health of the pituitary and adrenal gland within your own body. And therefore, because these two glands, especially the pituitary, are master glands of the endocrine system, secreting many hormones, and for example, the adrenal, which prevents adrenal fatigue, which is a common thing that occurs with bodybuilders. That's where you'll find that you start you'll get symptoms of overtraining, where you start getting colds, etc. By feeding the body with glandular extracts, essentially you're optimizing the endocrine environment, you're keeping it in balance, so that it allows you to push further. You can push your workouts further and therefore drive further gains And that was the whole idea of taking these extracts, optimizing the endocrine system to then further increase the anabolic environment. Now, for those interested, of course, in trying this stuff, in Vince's books, both the Master Series and the Pro Series, he does advocate taking pituitary and adrenal glandular extracts throughout the day. So basically 3 times a day with food. Now, the next 2 supplement regimens that Vince Gironda advocated were basically following from the first one. If you had essentially optimized your endocrine system, you can now afford to drive both testosterone production and growth hormone production. Again, the idea behind all of this, the way this works, is so brilliant, because you wouldn't want to be driving testosterone or growth hormone production in your body naturally if your endocrine system was out of whack. So Vince really had a methodical and logical way of thinking in trying to drive an anabolic environment. Now, this is where a lot of people might go, oh, I want to switch channels now, but I'm telling you what I've read. Vince believed in the use of desiccated beef testicles. Again, it's also called beef orchic tissue, again with the theory that like supports like, and therefore eating the organ, in this case the testicle, in a desiccated form, so it's not going to gross you out, of the particular animal. In this case it would be beef orchic tissue, so therefore coming from the beef, from cow, would strengthen and support the health of the corresponding organ, therefore the testicle of the individual consuming it, the person that takes the extract. He actually believed that it would drive testosterone production, and I'm going to get into greater detail in a separate video as to why, because there are some, I guess, websites out there and sources of information that do kind of point to the possibility that Vince was right. I know that it's very difficult to believe, I guess, and I am also very skeptical, I have to admit. I'm very skeptical in that the testosterone can being actually present in the beef testicle itself will drive testosterone, or may actually act like our normal testosterone. I don't necessarily believe that's the case. I would say, if Vince was right, that the extract itself may contain other micronutrients that will help support the health of the testicle and therefore help in producing the testosterone production in our own bodies. I think that's where Vince's, I guess, where he's where this particular principle of like support like would actually fit in. It's essentially the micronutrients. Just like we eat meat, muscle tissue to grow muscle, well, therefore, I guess the idea that Vince had here of consuming at least the testicle in an extract form would help support the health of our own testicles and therefore allow it to produce testosterone, ideally in greater quantities. I think that's where the idea was at. These were basically supposed to be taken before and after workout, so a pre and post workout, on workout days, obviously. That's how Vince actually advocated taking desiccated beef testicles. I will talk about this in greater detail in future videos. And of course, in taking these extracts, Vince believed that it would drive muscular hypertrophy further. Now, the third concoction, which is listed here, I truly think is just gold. It really is. And I say gold, it's just incredible. Every time I read more about Vince and start looking at the research of the claims that he made, I'm just constantly surprised at how far ahead he was in regards to nutrition. These amino acids, the 3 listed here, lysine, ornithine, and arginine, were recommended by Vince to be taken especially before bedtime. In his own writing in these books, in the Master Series and in the Pro Series, Vince Gironda writes that these should be taken before bedtime because they will increase growth hormone production. And it's amazing to see research such as this one from the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research from the year, let's see, 2010, from April 2010. Arginine and ornithine supplementation increases growth hormone, not only growth hormone, and insulin-like growth factor serum levels after heavy resistance exercise in strength-trained athletes. I mean, bravo to Vince. He is just so ahead of his time. It's incredible when you read his material, which I highly recommend you do. Again, you're going to find a lot of that on my website. It's just incredible. The nuggets of information you get from Vince. A lot of people used to just say, you know, he's crazy, he doesn't know what he's talking about, but he does. It's incredible that these 3 amino acids that he recommended back 50, 60 years ago definitely increase growth hormone and insulin-like growth factor. It's amazing. So again, these were supposed to be taken before bedtime to further drive hypertrophy. I, of course, will definitely talk about these particular amino acid, these 3 specific amino acids that are used in combination in further videos. And I'm going to present a lot because there is a lot of scientific research behind this concoction and on the levels that you should be taking. But this will take me a long time to explain, so I'm going to separate the 3 different topics of these 3 separate supplement regimens into 3 separate videos for you, and delve on these later on. I really hope you've enjoyed me revealing these 3 separate regimens. Now, if you're interested in purchasing the Master Series by Vince Gironda, it's available on my website, www.goldenerabookrooms.com, as well as many other Vince Gironda titles such as the Wild Physique, the Maximum Definition course, and many more, including my own self-written book, Vince Gironda's Diets. All of these are available on my website. And finally, just like to say, with the Vince Gironda's The Master Series, it would also really helps if you have the Wild Physique and the other booklets that he's actually written, because I guess with more knowledge you'll understand more of the courses that are presented. All of these titles are available on my website, www.goldenerabookrooms.com. So having reached the end of this video, here is in summary, Vince's advanced anabolic supplement regimen. And it's these 3 specific amino acids, ornithine and arginine, taken before bed, whilst lysine can be taken throughout the day. Beef orchic tissue should be had pre and post workout, whilst pituitary and adrenal glands should be taken with food 3 times a day. The information that I used to actually get this information, the book that I actually got this from was from the Master Series. The Master Series is available on my website as an ebook form. And a lot of you may be asking, well, you've given us part of the resume. How about the amounts? Well, the issue with that is that Vince sold his particular supplements through his own company. So you were basically supposed to read the instructions on his labels of, for example, of lysine, of ornithine, of arginine, of the beef orchic tissue and the adrenal and pituitary glands, and it was going to tell you the serving size. Unfortunately, these individual supplements do not exist anymore in Vince's in today's version of Vince's company. They do not. These were available back then, but not available nowadays. They are available in different forms. You can check out Vince's company's website for that. And of course, what I would instead recommend is that if you want to try and follow these advanced supplement regimens, that you actually purchase these separate amino acids, beef orchic tissue, pituitary glands, etc., because there are many brands that actually sell this stuff, right? You can actually still get this stuff nowadays, and that you of course just follow the instructions given on these labels. That's the only issue I had with presenting this information, is that the Master Series doesn't necessarily specify how much is in the dosage that you're supposed to have, and so I can only imagine that you would follow what is available nowadays as the recommended dosages. Anyway, I do hope you've enjoyed watching the video. If you have, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't to the Golden Era Bookworm, leave me your comments, and thank you for watching. As I mentioned before, I will go into further detail, trying to do a little bit of more research on each of these specific supplement regimens that Vince Gironda advocated for his advanced bodybuilders. If you'd like to support my research, please donate via PayPal, become a patron, visit my website for out-of-print books and courses, as well as those from Vince Gironda on my website again, www.goldenerabookrooms.com, and please get in touch if you wish to collaborate or pass on your bodybuilding books, relics, literature, etc. That's it for me. This is the Golden Era Bookworm. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye for now. To take full advantage of my collaboration with Old School Labs, please visit their website and choose from their marvelous range of supplements using my code BOOKWORM12. And for an entertaining look at the history of bodybuilding's supplement industry, I would highly recommend watching Subs the Movie, which I have collaborated in, available at Amazon Prime and Vimeo.